conversation about 2015 that this large party, the African's #1 largest party in Africa, the PDP, will be removed out of office. That used to be your party, in fact, until lately.
Yeah, sure.
Why did you just suddenly realize that your party has got the wrong policy for Nigeria?
That's a good question. I joined the People's Democratic Party in 2003, and really it wasn't the party I joined, it was Obasanjo I joined. I was very radical before then. Like I said, I've always been left of center, but I believed in Obasanjo as a person. So it was Obasanjo I did, really, not the PDP. And whilst I was in the PDP government, within every government, you have various factions, various ideologies. You know, Obasanjo and others will testify to the fact that people like myself, El Rufai, Ribadu, Oshutokun, Ubasani, and a few others were really quite radical in our approach to national issues. And most of the people within that government and within the party really didn't like us, okay, because we were radicals and we were left of center, okay. Now, when we left government, another president took power on the PDP platform. We opposed that president. Umaru Yar'Adua. We didn't feel he was good enough. We really wanted El Rufai to be president at the time. And of course we paid a terrible price for that because we suffered persecution, because we opposed Umaru's nomination. And we told Obasanjo that we didn't support him. Now, yes, I was part of that party. But if you also look at my record, and I challenge you to do this, since 2007, I don't think there's been any other former government minister under the PDP party that has challenged government policy and criticized PDP presidents since 2007, once we left office, as consistently and as vigorously and virulently as I have, with the possible exception of Nasiru El Rufai, who has been very consistent in his own views. But I've also been very consistent. And my view is that you don't play politics as if you're in a cult. If you are in a party and you're not comfortable with what that party is doing, you criticize from within, as is the case in the United Kingdom, as is the case in America, as is the case in any other civilized country. We can be in the same political party. We don't have to agree with the Prime Minister. We don't have to agree with the President. You speak your mind as a leader. You say, listen, if you don't get this right, it'll affect the fortunes of the party, it'll affect the fortunes of the nation, and I will oppose you and I'll criticize you and I'll tell you what I think. Look at what happened in Australia recently. Wonderful thing. Kevin Rudd was removed a few years back by a lady within the same party. She ousted him and got rid of him. He came back, made a big mistake, kept her enemy within the cabinet, gave him a key position. If she had read Machiavelli properly and read the discourse, she would never have done that. She would have completely got him out. He gained strength. When the time was right, he came back, pushed her out, and he's got the Sheila out, as the Australians call women, Sheila. Got the Sheila out, and he's back in power now. That is politics for you. It's alive. People stand up and oppose bad governance, tyranny, incompetence and stupidity from within and from without.
Is that not because Fani-Kayode is under investigation for being the former Minister of Aviation? And
which investigation? He's not under investigation, he's been prosecuted. Investigation has passed long ago. They prosecuted me since 2007. They found nothing. They dropped the first set of charges. They've been prosecuting me since then. They found nothing. There's no allegation I stole. There's no allegation money is missing. There's no allegation of anything. And it has nothing to do with the Aviation Intervention Fund or whatever. I was vindicated on all these things. And we've had 4 judges in the last 4 years. Okay? Anytime we're about to end the case and when they change the judge. So what are you talking about? Do you know what is known as political persecution? And the whole idea is this. I had many offers. Oh, keep quiet, be nice. We'll make this thing go away. I said, you must be joking. We must pursue it to its logical conclusion. And we're almost there. So I am not, if I wasn't being prosecuted or investigated when I opposed Babangida, when I opposed Abacha, when I opposed Obasanjo, you understand me? And you put the same argument to El Rufai. Is it because El Rufai is being prosecuted that he's also opposing the government? Is it because Ribadu opposed the government and left for America, they threatened to prosecute him as well? What type of rubbish blackmail is that? And in any case, whatever it is, I am, under the law, entitled to express my views, and I am innocent until proven guilty. If there's guilt, let them prove it. If there's evidence of it, let them. For me, that is a joke. And if I was worried about that, I would be a nice boy. And I'd go to the villa and beg them every day, please help me. You are wonderful, Mr. Goodluck. Bow before him and say, please forgive me and please help me, as so many others have done. And I probably wouldn't have a problem today. But no, I won't do that. I look into the storm, and I've been looking into the eye of the storm, and I've risen above it. And I said, it's nothing to me. They can do anything they like. I'll continue to oppose, I'll continue to speak, and I'll continue to fight for a better Nigeria, which is what I think the Nigerian people and the Nigerian nation deserve. If you want to have, if you want the government to take it easy with you, you don't do it the way I've been doing it. You do the opposite thing. You talk, you say nice things, and you tell lies, like so many Nigerian leaders are prone to do. But not me, because there's a lion in me. You understand me? I will never do that. Okay, so that's the situation.
Right, so 2015 politically, you mentioned, for example, the inspiration of many other Nigerians suffering and some Nigerians succeeding in life. How do you see the picture if you have to gaze towards 2015?
If the PDP party continues look, let me just go back a minute. We were talking about the PDP. You are talking about persecution, crimes, and allegations.
Yeah.
You have a PDP national chairman that said that Boko Haram, Alhaji Bamanga Tukur, who is somebody I respect immensely, was a friend of my father's, who said 6 months ago that Boko Haram were freedom fighters. They were fighting for justice. That is their party. You don't think that is criminality? You have a PDP Board of Trustees chairman that recently advocated the idea that when you go to party primaries for presidential and governorship and senatorial candidates, there should be no elections. That only happened in Stalinist Russia, communist rule in Russia, fascist Hitlerite Germany, okay, and in communist China. It doesn't happen anywhere else. Okay, that's what this party of non-criminals and this party of angels called the PDP is trying to introduce into our country today. Okay? You look at what has been happening in the oil sector. Go and read the Ribadu report. You want to talk about corruption? Read the Ribadu report on the oil sector. Go and look at what he's saying about the amount of money stolen. There has been more corruption under this government than any other government in the history of Nigeria. That is a fact. And that's something Nigerian people have to live with. They are incompetent, they are corrupt, they are irresponsible. They have turned our country into an abattoir where blood is flowing every day. Nigerians are being slaughtered by Boko Haram or Ansar or whatever the other one is that killed those foreigners, and so on and so forth. It is just ungodly what's going on. They are the criminals. And you know something? By the time this is all over and they are no longer in power, we will ensure that we look back into all these things, and then by that time we'll really know who is who and what is what. So they should continue with anything they want to do. God is the one that protects, and God is the one that vindicates the righteous. If we had anything to hide, someone like Rufai, myself, and many others, even as Ezekwesili that wanted to begin processes on her until certain people said, look, it doesn't make sense. Okay? We have nothing to hide. Otherwise we would have kept quiet. We have everything to gain by speaking the truth. And that's what we need. More Nigerian leaders and politicians that are prepared to stand up and say enough is enough. The Nigerian people deserve better. The Nigerian people need it, and we need it, and we're going to continue to do precisely that. So we're talking about the opposition party that has now emerged, the APC. Look at the quality of leaders there. Look at the quality of governors in the southwest of the country today. People like the governor of Lagos State, the governor of Ekiti State, the governor of Ogun State, the governor of Oyo State. Just look at them. Just look at them. You know them. Quality of mind, cerebral. Look at the governor of Nasarawa State, who I've known for 35 years, Al Makura. Look at the governor. What I'm trying to say is that the quality of minds within the opposition is far more cerebral than the quality of minds within the PDP. Look at the national executive, the new national executive of the APC.
Interim.
Yeah, fine, interim. The one they have today in PDP is also interim. Okay? Compare the two. People like Ni Adebayo, people like Sharon Ikiazo, people like Nasir Rufai, people like Bisi Akode, Lai Mohammed. I mean, where do you get? These are first-class materials, okay? And there are many of them in this country. And I'm so happy that finally, you're getting a coalition, particularly between the North and the Southwest, which is really what you need to take on those that believe that their very small nationality should be ruling Nigeria in perpetuity, and so on and so forth. And I believe strongly that if the alliance will hold, and if we have the right candidate for 2015, this government will be flushed down the toilet. We'll have a new president, and Nigeria will have hope again. If it doesn't, and if President Goodluck Jonathan continues, like I've said before, two things will happen. First of all, Nigeria will become worse than Zaire within a year or two in terms of being a failed state, in terms of corruption, and in terms of insecurity, and it will be irretrievable. We will not be able to fix it anymore after that. It will be that bad. And secondly, Jonathan will eventually divide Nigeria. Okay, look at what happened in the Nigerian Governors Forum election. Somebody got 19, somebody got 15 or 16, okay? And yet the person that got 16 till today is still saying he won the election. And when he was denied the right to have it and become announced as the chairman, acknowledged and accepted by everybody, they now decided to split the forum. If Goodluck Jonathan, when he loses in 2015, is that the same way they will decide to try and split Nigeria? It won't happen. They may try, but we won't allow it to happen. We forced others to stay in before. During the Nigerian Civil War, 2 million people died. And if need be, we will force others to stay in again. And nobody's going anywhere with any oil. The oil belongs to all of us. You understand me? The North, the South. It doesn't belong to the South alone or to the Niger Deltans alone. It belongs to all of us. And we'll be together in this country. We will not abuse the blood that was shed, or spit or piss, excuse my language, on the blood that was shed. 2 million Nigerians died in the Civil War to keep us together. That has married us together forever. Nobody's going anywhere. We'll fix this nation together, and Nigeria will be great again.
Nigeria will be great again. In terms of speaking to Mr. Kayode, Fani-Kayode, who is a politician, an entrepreneur. Now, we heard as well that you're kind of into sport.
Well, I'm a polo man, a polo player. No, I haven't played for a while.
You're into karate?
Yes. How did you know that? You've done your research.
So, is that why some of the politicians refuse to come too close to you in case you do some...
No, I'm a very warm, friendly person. I have many... No, I have many friends within the political class that are perfectly safe and comfortable with me. Both male and female, I assure you. I'm a really... I'm approachable. I'm somebody... I interact with people. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. How many Nigerian leaders and politicians do that? And I've learned so much from the social media. I didn't know how much hatred, honestly, middle class Nigerians, because those kids on Twitter and they're middle class. Some of them feel that we don't have anything. The fact that you're an FB or you can afford to have it it means you're a middle class person, okay? And you have so much to offer. And I enjoy interacting with them, even when they abuse me, because you see, it taught me a lesson that, look, all is not well, and they don't make a distinction between the good politicians and goodies and bad ones, and that's the most frightful thing. They just don't care, because their lives have been so badly affected, and it has driven me even more to say, listen, we've got to make things right for these people and for their future. I have 5 daughters. Most of them are not even thinking of settling in Nigeria. Well, I can say the oldest one anyway, and probably the youngest. I can't speak for the other 3, but those 2 are not interested in it simply because they feel that, look, what on earth does Nigeria have to offer them? And they're international people now, and I'm probably the only Kayode in our family that's still living in Nigeria. Virtually all my siblings have gone. Most of my children are out most of the time. My wife doesn't live here. She doesn't come from Nigeria anyway. Because the sort of things that are going on in our country are very depressing indeed. But we can still fix it. I'm a believer in Nigeria. I love the Nigerian people. I believe with the right type of leadership, the right type of education, the right type of enlightenment, and an honest leadership that will tell them the truth about their own history. Most Nigerians don't even know their own history, how we came about, who we are. They don't have any idea. They don't teach history in Nigerian schools. It's the only African country that suffers. In fact, I believe it's probably the only country in the world that suffers from that particular affliction, that they don't teach history in schools. Have you ever heard of it before? Your own history. So people have all kinds of funny ideas about who we are. This is not the way to run a country. We need good leaders serious leaders, and by God's grace we'll get there.
By God's grace, Nigeria will get there come 2015 or whenever. Now, what message do you have for the Nigerian community in the diaspora in terms of looking forward or to the better Nigeria?
Yeah. They have a wealth of experience and knowledge that most of those that have not had the privilege of living abroad and working abroad have. They have an advantage. And what I would advise them to do, and what I want them to do, is not to forget Nigeria, not to write our country off, not to say it's a banana republic, the country. It can change. Nigeria has more medical, I believe I'm right saying, more medical practitioners, good ones in the United States than probably any other African country, highly rated. Lawyers, academicians, artists, poets, writers, you know, everything Nigerians are good at. They excel wherever they go, but they should not forget home. They should also remember they have a lot to invest in our country. They should come home, interact, help and support their people here, and most importantly, get interested in the leadership struggle in Nigeria. You can't sit in London and complain about your country if you have never volunteered to even come home and say run for the House of Reps, run for the Senate, run for president. Why not? Why on earth not? If a man by the name of Goodluck Jonathan can be sitting somewhere and somebody just decides that, listen, I'm going to make you deputy governor because I just happen to like you and the way you wear your hat, without any experience, he becomes deputy governor. Then circumstances unfold and the governor is removed and he suddenly finds himself as governor. Then circumstances unfold, he's sitting in his office and he's summoned by a small group. They say you'll be the vice president. He becomes vice president. Then suddenly somebody says, well, president has died, you become president. For goodness sake. There's an well, let me not go that far. I was going to talk about a film called Being There, which it's an old film with Peter Sellers. let me not say that. It's exceptionally it's unacceptable. I won't compare our president to the character in Being There. But the point is that if he can rise up, having gone to school without wearing shoes by his own admission, there are millions and millions of Nigerians all over the world in the diaspora that wore shoes to school, good shoes too, good quality shoes, that speak the Queen's English, that understand, have read virtually every key book that there is to read, that are excelling in the land of the white man and so on and so forth, and doing so well. For goodness sake, we need them back here to come into politics and to come and teach those in politics to speak good English, to understand the world. We had a president, President Umaru Yar'Adua, who had never traveled to the West before he became president. That's correct. And he had only been to the time when he became president. He had only been to the south of Nigeria 20 years prior to the time he started presidential elections. And when he traveled, he had only ever gone to Mecca and back. I think he stopped in Dubai once or twice and was amazed by the skyscrapers. Okay. That man became president of our country, and then you expect things to go well for us. When a man like that becomes... Then you now have the shoeless one that came in. Now, please, get this clear. I don't disrespect the office of the president. I've worked for that office before. I know what it is, and I respect that office. But I'm looking at the individuals that can become president in Nigeria. You cannot sit on the sidelines and complain when you don't offer yourself and come and struggle and make things better. We need you back home. I'm not saying leave everything you're doing there, but have an interest, make an input, help us. Let us move Nigeria together forward. There are too few of us within the political class that understand you and are like you. A handful of us. I was educated throughout my life in the United Kingdom. I never went to a Nigerian school, yet I refuse to carry a non-Nigerian passport. Everybody in my family has a British and European passport. I'm the only one that doesn't. I'm proud of being Nigerian. I live in Nigeria, I work in Nigeria, I will die in Nigeria, I will never go into exile again. And I urge everybody to come home and make a contribution in this country.